Morning, this is Brian. Today is Thursday, October 30th, 2025, and I'm here at the corner of Colina Dorada and Calle de Vida, right at the entrance, one of the entrance portals to Mission Trails Regional Park. So today, getting an early start today. It's probably about, time-wise, oh, it's 6:45 already. Just hoping to get a little bit earlier start. Thinking about trying to see if I can head over towards the Fortuna Mountain region. Maybe cross over Peak 787 first. Start out on this dirt road. See where the adventure takes me today. I'm expecting to be cooler here this morning. Feels like it's already about 60, 62 degrees. Where I live it was about 50, 51. Thought it was going to be a little cooler here, but I think the Santa Ana winds that were blowing, I think this area, I can feel some of the breezes coming out of the east right now. So it must have been a little bit of a Santa Ana breeze keeping the temperature up here. Hopefully when I descend down towards Suycott Valley, it will cool off. Try to get this accomplished earlier because it is going to get pretty toasty later on. And I don't want to spend my first half of my vacation sitting in the house doing nothing. I do have some more grandiose plans in the upcoming days to hit some peaks further up here in Southern California. Hopefully maybe somewhere in the San Bernardino National Forest. I definitely want to hit up the Angeles National Forest. But today, I'm just kind of easing on into it, trying to get my stamina back up a little bit. The last few days have just been ridiculously hot. Way too hot. Very uncomfortable. Summer-like weather. So it should start off very gentle. And then I'm going to try to visit Peak 787, Hill 787. This will be my 4th time up there. And I'm going to drop down towards Suycott Valley and try to climb up to at least one of the Fortunas, depending on how the weather holds out until it gets too hot, how long it holds out for me. So we'll see. There's a quarry loop trail. The last time I did Hill 787, I did a loop around that and then curved up to the side. Came up, I think, from the south. This time I'm going to try to do this one a little more directly so I don't add too much extra mileage on the first portion of this. Like I said, I gotta be mindful of the heat today. And we'll see. So we're in the community of Tierrasanta. It's a community here in San Diego that separates the city of Santee, that is separated from the city of Santee by Mission Trails and the Fortuna Ridgeline. It's actually quite lovely neighborhood. Probably extremely expensive, from what I gather. But nevertheless, very nice looking area. Coast cholla, Cylindra prolifera. The ones that I collected, the stems I collected on the ground on the side of Mission Gorge Road a little over a month ago. I think they're starting to root, and some of them are starting to, one of them or two of them, starting to produce new growth. So I can thankfully say I have Coast Cholla growing where I live. All right. I'm gonna keep climbing. I'll update you where my turn off to visit the peak is, and go from there. All right, so I'm at the next junction here. This is the Quarry Loop North. To get to the Fortuna Saddle Trail, which might not be the way I go this time, is 1.2 miles from here, up and over the hill and down in Suycott Valley. Like I said, my plan is to first hit Hill 787, then maneuver my way down into Suycott Valley, and maybe go up the south side of South Fortuna Mountain, and then try to work my way towards, maybe, depending on the weather, how quickly I can do this, maybe North Fortuna, maybe. See how that goes today. I'm gonna hit up this. I think this will lead me directly to the peak. I think. To Hill 787. I'll have to do a little maneuvering when I try to access the trail up to South Fortuna. And we'll see how that goes. All right, catch you on the next clip. Almost already at Hill 787. Very straight shot up here. Start on that dirt road right by Colina Dorada and Calle de Vida. Take the dirt road, branch right on the Quarry Loop North Trail, and it'll take you directly, pretty gently I may add, to the summit. And this is Hill 787. I think this is the fourth time I've been up here. Yeah. This is it. Hill 787. Summit time number 1 of the day. So what I will do is I'll do a 360 view shot up here. I'm going to start by looking west over San Diego, the mesas. That's looking out towards Kearney Mesa, Claremont Mesa, a little bit further to the west. And that ridge back there, Soledad Mountain, which is over La Jolla. Looking southwest, Point Loma is that ridge in the right background with the downtown skyscape of San Diego proper towards San Diego Bay. Now looking south towards San Miguel Mountain, and then Otay Mountain just to its right. More southeast, we can see Mount Helix. You see Mount Helix there, and then behind it is Cuchama or Tecate Peak, Lions Peak, Coles Mountain, Peak 1399, and Piles Peak. Now we're looking east with Quai Pai right there, El Cajon Mountain, South Fortuna Mountain behind the shrubbery, northeast looking towards Iron Mountain and North Iron Mountain on the left, Fortuna Saddle in the foreground below, northeast towards North Fortuna Mountain, possibly one of my objectives today, to the north, a Toyon, to the northwest, more of San Diego County. Okay, it's time for a summit selfie, and it's time for me to start looking for my way down to Suycott Valley, which will require me navigating some of these crisscrossing trails. All right, according to this, well, that's our north trail. That's where I came up. So what I am going to do is I'm going to start heading towards the Fortuna Saddle Trail west. I'm going to try to start migrating down this way. I'm going to be heading roughly south now on this portion of the quarry loop. And I think this is the way I came up the last time back in January. I came up this way. So I'm going to try to migrate my way down towards the Fortuna Saddle Trail west area, but I'm going to try to see if I can navigate my way to the South Fortuna Mountain Trail and go up the staircase, the big staircase. Maybe go up that way to hit South Fortuna Mountain. So we'll see if my navigation skills are on point today. If worst came to worst, I could always go up the West Fortuna Saddle Trail. It'll take me to Fortuna Saddle, no problem there. But that's not the plan that I have right now. So let's go ahead and start working our way down the Quarry Loop Trail. Yeah, the first summit today. Pretty easy direct shot. No navigational problems. Just one hike a dirt road, turn right on the Quarry Loop Trail north, and ascend directly to the summit without any problems. Let's see. This seems to be the way I came up the last time back in January. I might have to backtrack. I might have to go back to the summit. This is going to lead me going this way. Yeah. Well, this is the way I wanted to go. I think I'm going to go back up. I'm going to go back up because I think there's a back. If I remember correctly, yeah, there's a trail that goes down from the summit. Yeah, there's a trail that goes down the east side of Hill 787, and it takes you down to the Suycott Valley area. Because I've hit Hill 787 from that direction before. So I'm going to go back that way and see how that works. All right, so I'm back up here just a minute later. I'm going to look for a trail on the backside of this, because I could have sworn I'd come up this way once from the east side of the hill. Let's see if I can find it. There was a trail that led down this side. I think this is it here. So on the east side of this, the vernal pool gate, that's what that fence is there. It's a vernal pool habitat, so people stay out of it. I'm gonna take this use trail, this little trail here, I'm gonna take it down. So I gotta get down in that vicinity there. So I'm gonna take, let's see, is this it? Making sure I'm not on any non-sanctioned trail. Let's see. I'm gonna check this out. I'm not sure if this is an actual trail here. This doesn't appear to be a sanctioned trail. I try to stay on sanctioned trails when I'm at mission trails. I try to stay on trail out of respect for, just out of respect for this wonderful park. I'm trying to see, which way did I come? I know there was a way I came up this. Maybe I will have to go down that other way. I'm gonna really have to take a look at this and see. It's a coast barrel cactus. Got several of them growing up here on the summit. Maybe go this way. All right, another trail here. This one, I think, yeah, this one should be the legit trail. Yeah, this one's a good trail here. I think I might have come up that other one, but it was not as faded looking as it is now. So maybe that wasn't an official trail. Like I said, I try my best to stay on trail whenever I'm visiting this park. Official trail at that, because I do have a lot of love for this place, and I'd hate to be part of its destruction, or also don't want to get myself banned from being here either. All right, so I've been down this way before as well. I've gone down this way once or twice before while climbing Hill 787. So I guess what I'll do is I'll head down to Suycott Valley that way and work out a route. Maybe I will just go up Fortuna Saddle. Maybe. We'll see. I'll catch you on my next update, and we'll see what's going on at that point in time. I'll probably be getting on that trail down there, down below us. We'll see how that is. Yeah. So, I remember when I was back here in September of 2024, I hit Hill 787 and some of these other little bumps and hills in the area as well, including that little bump right there. With that, I was looking at that white soil. I'm not a geologist, and I think this is an example of it here, but I think that's caliche. I think that's caliche. So I think that's what that soil is right there. I think it's caliche. I've been up to that little bump before, and I think we have a little bit of caliche over here as well. Pretty interesting. All right. So again, what I'm going to do is link up at the bottom there, and start working my way into the Suycott Valley region, and we'll see how that works out for me. I'm just about to reach this junction here. That's the Claremont Mesa staging area, which is a short distance from where I parked, but a little bit more of a walk to get to it from my direction. So this is the Fortuna Saddle Trail West. Joining it right now. Now, here's another junction here. South Fortuna. So this connector here will take me to the South Fortuna Trail. So this is where I wanted to go originally. I'll head this way. do this. That's a beautiful lemonade berry. Here, so much beautiful lemonade berry. So we're heading down into Suycott Valley. See if the temperatures go down. See how much cooler it is down there. Because we won't be. We're starting to feel a difference already. I feel a degree or two already, but down in the valley should be protected from the wind. It looks like sunrise is about to happen right near the saddle of Coles Mountain at peak 1399 up there. Let's see how much temperature goes down in Suycott Valley. Like I say, where I live, there weren't any puffs of Santa Ana breezes, so the temperature had really good radiative cooling effect. Alright, there's good old Coles Mountain right up there, right above us. Sunrise is just going to be to its west, or left. Left, not west. So it's looking southeast right now. Great views of the beautiful hills and peaks of Mission Trails. And we got Quiet Pike dead ahead of us. And there's South Fortuna. Should be objective number 2 of the day. This will be fun climbing this later on. Oh well. Gotta do what I gotta do. Gotta get to these peaks sometimes. And I haven't been on the Fortunas in 2 years. More than 2 years. I've last been on any of the Fortunas. Alright. Let's catch you on the next clip. A nice, decent sized laurel sumac up ahead here. Wow. Oh, this thing's huge. Oh, this is a big laurel sumac. Oh boy, look at this. Dang. That's a pretty big one. It's gonna get bigger than this, but still. I love when they get big. They're such cool plants. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel a slight decrease in temperature going down this way. I could feel it a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. I was hoping it was going to be a little chill in the air. I love this place so much. I live so close to it. To get to this side, to get to the west side of it, the only time I ever have to take the freeway to get to it. But if I'm coming to it, like for instance, if I'm visiting the Coles Mountain region, or if I wanted to hit the Fortunas from the east side, I don't even have to get on a freeway. I could just take Mission Gorge Road most of the way and be good. I did get on the 52, and since it was a little bit after 6, about 6:20 this morning, this is when the rush hour started to build up. But I just got off on Santo to Claremont Mesa to Rueda and Calle de Vida. All right, so we're just about to hit a junction right now. Let's see what this says here. This is the San Diego River Crossing Trail. Oh, okay. So I think I came up this way when I was trying to get to Hill 787 up there. So to get to the South Fortuna Trail, I'm going to be heading this way for a little while. One thing about this park is it is well signed for the most part. Pretty well signed. heading this way for a little while. Right up there is the trail, the South Fortuna Trail, going up towards Fortuna. All right. Coast live oak tree. Little guy there. Another junction here. All right. Be looking for that junction pretty soon. Yeah, they're coming up from the real steep portion of the San Diego River Crossing Trail. Technically, the crossing of the river is actually forbidden right now. There's a sign saying it's closed. A bunch of signs, actually. And what's this trail here? Let's see. Those are the Suycott Valley Trail. Let's see what the signs on this say. Okay, so we're going to break off onto the Suycott Valley Trail. So, 0.3 miles should get us to the South Fortuna Trail. Okay. All right. It's time for me to keep working on. Keep you posted. And I need to get some new batteries in my camera. All right, so I'm most of the way down in the Suycott Valley. We're approaching a small riparian section at the bottom. When I did this trail the first time back in August of 2022, yes, you heard me right, August, had an really early start on that one. I went this way. It was very scenic. Boy, the temperature just went down a few degrees. You can feel it. Feels great. Ooh, it just went down several degrees. This is more like it. Alright, so we're just about to hit a junction here. I believe it's going to be the South Fortuna Trail. I think. Let's see. Let's see what it says here. Let's see. Okay. So we'll be turning right here. So here we are in the wash, joining South Fortuna Trail. Fortuna Saddle is a little over 1.5 miles away. Fortuna Mountain is a little under 1.5 miles away. South Fortuna, that is. So we're going down here. Yeah, temperature's nice and cool down here now. Cool air drainage, no Santa Ana winds. And we've got some fall color down here too. First off, western ragweed, Brosia silostachia. We got some Gooding's willow changing color for autumn. We have a little fall color down here, a little bit. Not much. Yeah, so now we're down in the canyon. Yeah, I remember this part here. Cool enough to see my breath, but it's not humid enough to see my breath. Yeah, it's too dry. The air's very dry. Yeah. So So we're basically in this really thick sumac toyon scrubland here, or shrubland. Toyon, lemonade berry, especially those two. And used to be more wooded here, I think. There used to be more coast live oaks back in the day, but Suycott washes right down here. Like I said, we do have some fall colors showing up on the willows here in late October. Yep. Pretty nice to see some fall color. Haven't really started my fall color video, unfortunately. Might be a shorter one this year. Let's get some pictures down here. Now, while there have been lots of oak diebacks, you can see here, there are a lot of young ones here too. So let's take some time to appreciate that. There are a lot of young coast live oaks down in here too. A lot of the older ones have passed away, probably due to drought and disease, but we do have lots of younger ones as well. Ooh, look at the toyon pomes are ripening. Yes, we are starting to get some ripening pomes on the toyons. We do still have a few adult coast live oaks here. This is the area where you want to watch out for poison oak. None of it's really intrusive on the trail, but just stay on the trail. Oh yeah, I like this part here, being around the trees. Okay. Okay, we're joining the South Fortuna Trail. So I guess you could have come from this way. But I always say, if you can take a forested route, why not take that? Enjoy a little tree action. We do still have some nice mature live oaks left, so we can be appreciative of that. It's always nice to change it up a bit. Then we're going to start heading up over there. That trail cut is. It's nice and cool down here. Yeah, nice and cool down here. So we're going to be heading. Basically, what's going to happen now, so we're going to ascend this connecting ridge. We're going to follow that connecting ridge, have a few ups and downs, and then we're going to get to a small pass. And at that small pass, we're going to start going up to ascend the Fortuna ridge line on the southwestern slope of the mountain. And that's where we're going to be going up a bunch of these staircases to get up there. Some people call it the stairway to heaven. But I get to see some of the cool geography and geology of the Fortunas and the Suycott Valley region. Very cool, very picture worthy. The best pictures won't be till later when it's a little brighter out, but it's just nice to see this stuff here. All right, so I've been coming up for a little bit. I am working my way on this western extension ridge coming out from Fortuna Mountain. There's my first summit over there, Hill 787. So I'm quite a ways underneath it right now. I've lost several hundred feet, at least a good few hundred feet. Now I'm kind of walking along this ridge line here. Again, this is a western extension of the Fortuna Ridge. The main Fortuna Ridge obviously is up there. We're going to be getting into some pretty neat geology along that way when we get up to that steep South Fortuna Trail ascent. I've always liked Suycott Valley because it's just beautiful down there. This whole place is amazing. Yeah. Pretty nice place. Pretty darn nice place. All right. Well, I'm going to keep on tackling this part of it. Not extremely steep, but since I haven't been doing a lot of big climbs lately, I can see myself feeling a little bit more today. All right. Starting to get out in the sun now too. All right, see you on the next clip. So, I'm on the upper part of this ridge to go over another little hump or two. And I'll be at the base of the South Fortuna ascent. Fully out in the sun, and it's already a little warm outside. Not too bad. Beautiful out here, though, I'll tell you that. Heading towards that Santiago Peak volcanic igneous rock face. So a lot of mission trails, especially this portion of it, this area used to be called Long Mountain back in the day. Fortuna's, I believe, all the way to Coles, used to be called Long Mountain. Cut by a river gap, the San Diego River, Mission Gorge, and a wind gap, which is where Mission Gorge Road passes. And trying to learn more about other aspects of mission trails. I mean, obviously, I got a nice chunk of the plant life sewed up, but I'd like to learn other aspects of this. So I bought this book at the visitor center about the mission trails geology, different types of soils and rocks found here. And come to find, a lot of this Long Mountain region from North Fortuna to Coles is made up of an igneous rock called Santiago Peak volcanics. I'm not sure if they ever, I remember correctly reading that the source of it, the volcanic source, hasn't been found, but it is a volcanic igneous rock. And you're going to get a lot of exposure to it when we're going up. First up, we go up the staircase, which is straight ahead, and then it becomes rockier higher up, where there might be a couple of very brief class 2 maneuvers to get over some of the bigger rocks. We're just about to approach this little section here where we're going to start taking that trail up. It's not really much of a pass, but it's here on this ridge line. We're going to start going up the staircase. This is a little side trip leads to a little viewpoint. There's our Suycott Valley, a few hundred feet below us. Basically, Suycott Valley is almost like a bowl, almost surrounded completely on four sides. The very lowest points is actually surrounded on four sides with ridge lines and everything. Has another part of the ridge line extending east from North Fortuna, leading up to the mesa topography. That begins the mesa topography of the greater San Diego area, right there, towards Tierrasanta, heading west towards Mesa and Claremont Mesa. That's the Mesa Canyon topography right there. As you head towards Claremont, before you get to La Jolla, you have lots of mesas and you have little canyons cut through them. And as part of that topography, basically the beginning of it right there. This area basically forms the west wall of the El Cajon Valley. So once you get over the Fortunas and the Coles Mountain region, and you start heading east downhill, you're heading down into the El Cajon Valley, which has Santee, parts of Lakeside, and El Cajon for that matter. So this area is kind of an interesting divide between different regions here in San Diego County. So it's kind of neat to think about that while hiking. Okay, and thus begins the staircase. I'll start working my way up this, keep you updated, and we'll see. So here I am, the famous Stairmaster, or staircase, or stairway to heaven. First steps, since I don't have very long legs, kind of require me to step up a little bit more. But this portion here just feels like walking up steps to a building. Just a little bit harder than walking upstairs in a building. About halfway up the Stairmaster, you start feels almost like walking up the stairs in the building, with rocks on the ground, of course. So, just take your time. It's steep. It requires you to watch where you're stepping because there are rocks on the trail. But take that time to look back and enjoy the incredible views you have climbing up this way. Incredible views. And I can see some of the road I descended over there. I was over on that side earlier. And of course, center stage is Hill 787. So just take your time. This isn't an easy hike, but it's not extremely strenuous either. It's all right. I need it. Yeah, the views are incredible up here. Yeah, I was just down there That's where you bottom out. The lowest elevation of your hike will be there. So when you get back down to that, get back to the trailhead, if you came the way I came, or pretty much any trailhead on the West Fortuna side, you're going to have to gain some elevation on the way out. So just keep that in mind. Just keep in mind you will need to have some form of hiking experience and conditioning to do this. Like I said, you have some climbing on the way out, and there are some steep dirt road and trail sections on the way back up to that notch over there. So keep that in mind. Pretty much if you hit up from East Fortuna, East Fortuna, depending on the route you take, if you take Oak Canyon, the lion's share of your elevation gain will be on the way to the Fortuna ridgeline, as opposed to having lots of ups and downs. Like I said, just take your time, don't stress it. Plan accordingly. Bring way more water than you think you'll need. And here we go. Again, I believe this is some of that Santiago Peak volcanic rock up here. Santiago Peak being the name of the highest peak in the Santa Ana Mountains, bordering Orange and Riverside counties to our northwest. A peak I visited 4 times, but have not visited in over 6.5 years, almost 7 years. Hopefully getting up there again. We'll be looking at airport fire damage. Unfortunately, you all the way up to the peak, apparently. So this is where we're going to have to do a little bit of rock hopping, maybe some very light class 2. This is a light class 2 section here. And we're going to have to pay attention to where the trail is. So there are periodic signs pointing you in the trail. Like right there. I don't think I'm going to descend this. I think I'm going to go down Fortuna Saddle Trail. See right here. So we got to pay attention. Let's see. The trail goes up this way. Since it is rocky here, it is easier to lose the path. Got some more Stairmaster here, which means a reprieve from the scrambling. This is a beautiful sight. This is a very scenic way to get up to South Fortuna Mountain. It's the second time I've done it this way. There's that western ridge that I worked to get up to here. Gosh, this place is so incredible. There's our visitor center down there. That is a great place. A lot of interpretive displays, friendly docents and friendly personnel, and some fall color from the Fremont cottonwoods growing over there. Trees are changing beautiful yellow, golden yellow over there. It's time for Halloween. All right. Keep heading up this Santiago Peak volcanic rock, and See you up the way. All right, just about to join the southern edge of the main Fortuna ridgeline. Just under a half mile from the summit, and about a mile from the Fortuna Saddle. All right, there's my ridgeline from earlier. Wait a minute. Now, there's my ridgeline from earlier. I don't think that ridgeline. Wait a minute. Am I tripping or what? Huh. Looks like that is the ridgeline right there. Okay. I'm tripping. Okay. All right. It's not over yet. We still got some climbing to do, and there are going to be some more stairwell sections along the way. Climbing's not done yet. Still got a little way to climb, but most of the climbing, at least getting to the summit itself, is behind us. Getting most of the elevation, but not all of it. We're just gonna follow this. There'll be a few minor undulations, maybe a couple of more rigorous sections, but the most difficult part of this climb, at least getting to this ridgeline, is behind us. Now I get to follow the undulating ridge. Eventually we're going to be at a coastal sage scrub. It's California sagebrush right here, by the way. Demesia californica. A little bit of rain we got in October and a little bit we got in September did liven them up a little bit. There are some down in the valley that were starting to sprout new leaves already. It's like this little thing here, this little hill here is a pretty gentle one. But you will find some more wooden logs as stairs along the way. But in a few minutes, we're actually going to finally merge into some chaparral. And we're going to get some views down towards the El Cajon Valley. Take a brief little stop off here. That's looking down towards the El Cajon Valley to our north. You can see Father Junipero Serra down below us, right down there. This is the east side of the Fortuna Ridgeline, and it's a breeze blowing. Sorry if it's hard to hear me on camera, but this is the El Cajon Valley. That's looking up towards Lakeside over there, El Cajon Mountain, looking at the peak. Ridgelines have always been a cool feature for hiking. That little ridge was pretty scenic too. All right. Well, gonna need time for some photography, and I'll keep you updated further along the way. So we've made it up to the chaparral. Vegetation is changing from coastal sage scrub to chaparral now. Still a lot of sage scrub plants here, but chaparral plants mixing in as we're transitioning. So on the way, a lot of San Diego bush sunflower, a lot of California sagebrush, a lot of buckwheat. But now we're also getting common chamise picking up, and also Mission Manzanita starting to make an appearance. That should be the summit area over there, I believe, if I remember correctly. sun's getting pretty warm up here already, but there are some puffs of Santa Ana winds blowing, which are definitely keeping me dry. Ooh, we got a wren tit in here, I think. I can't really see it that well. Might have been a sparrow or something. Alright. Yeah. See, the thing about this hike, depending on the type of person you are, but for me, it's hard to pick the most scenic portion of this hike, because every portion of this hike has a really good level of scenery and aesthetic value. The ridge lines, the canyons. It's a pretty dynamic landscape, thanks to the fact that we got a lot of hills and valleys and ridges. This part's a lot more gradual than the first part. This part's pretty gentle compared to the ridge ascent. Like I said, take the time, look around you, appreciate the scenery, and before the sun's up too long, we should have some pretty relatively haze-free views for at least a little while. The haze is starting to fill in a little bit, but we are getting some pretty good views regardless. All right, I'll see you near the top. All right, so we're at our final junction before summiting South Fortuna. Right here. See this sign? See an arrow pointing towards Fortuna Saddle, 0.6 miles away, and our summit plaque is just over here. So we're gonna make a quick right to get to the summit display. Now, the actual highest point of South Fortuna is actually off the trail, and we know how it is. Off trail is not allowed here. So I'm going to call it a summit on these rocks here. Very negligible. Call this summit time. All right. This is it. South Fortuna Mountain, 1,094 feet. This will be my third or fourth time up here. I think it's my fourth. 2022. 2023. Yeah, this will be my fourth time on South Fortuna Mountain. Pretty cool. And the way I'm feeling now is I do feel like tacking on North Fortuna at this point. We'll see. I am going to head towards Fortuna Saddle. Alright, I'll get my summit selfie and I'll point out a few views up here as well. A few views that I didn't point out as much on Hill 787. Alright, so let's start off by looking north. Right there, to the left of north, well, North Fortuna Mountain at 1291 in elevation. We're going to start looking a little bit more northwest. You can see the upper portion of Suycott Valley, and this little cone-shaped hill down here is Hill 781. It's actually listed on Peak Bagger, but there's no legal trail to get to the top of that. Of course, it doesn't stop some people from doing it. But like I said, I'm in a regulated park, so I'm gonna try to stay on my best behavior. And we got here Miramar Marine Corps Air Station. You see the runways and everything down there. And that's looking over also towards Del Mar and Solana Beach that way. Way off in the distance, so further north and northwest, you can see San Onofre Mountain in the Camp Pendleton region. So now we're going to go slide more towards the west here, and of course, that's looking down towards Tierrasanta, Kearney Mesa, and Claremont. And then Soledad Mountain off in the distance there, over La Jolla. Southwest towards the downtown region. And that's the first summit I climbed right there, Hill 787. South towards Rancho Mission Canyon, where these hills are. And then, of course, the mountains over towards Mexico. And, of course, now, sorry about the sun glare. I'm going to just have to kind of go this way. Looking east towards Cuyamaca Peak and El Cajon Mountain off in the distance, with a shot of Viejas Mountain on the far right there. Northeast, you can see the beautiful Powell Range from Woodson Mountain, North Iron Mountain, Iron Mountain, and that ridge in the far background is the highest point in our county, which is Hot Springs Mountain. Northeast, the ridge of Palomar Mountain towards the right, and then Agua Tibia Mountain to the left. And I think that right there is Black Mountain in Ramona. Not the Black Mountain in Rancho Penasquitos, which I don't see from here. You'll see it from North Fortuna, but I believe that's Black Mountain in Ramona, the big Black Mountain, which is over 4,000 feet. All right, so yeah, good views. This peak has about 180 feet of prominence because you got a saddle down there, Fortuna Saddle, which will be my next stop, and then probably up to North Fortuna, and we'll see how the rest of this day goes. Little look at the South Fortuna sign before I start heading back on South Fortuna Trail. You can stop to read that if you'd like. It's time to start heading towards North Fortuna, or Fortuna Saddle. So I'm just going to go bare a few feet here. And now, there's that sign again. But instead of head back the way we ascended, we're going to descend this way toward Fortuna Saddle. So there might be some looping to this hike today. There will be some looping. This is our next objective, possibly, or actually our next objective. The objective is down there, Fortuna Saddle, but North Fortuna might still be on the menu for today's hiking. Alright, let's continue along towards Fortuna Saddle, and there's a bench near the saddle. I'm going to probably put down my pack for a few minutes, sit and sip some water, and contemplate, more than likely, continuing up that. Got a southern alligator lizard right here on the trail. Look at that handsome lizard. It's been a while since I've seen one of these. Elgaria multicarinata webby, San Diego alligator lizard. It's been so long. Look at that handsome lizard. Oh, cool. I haven't seen one of those in a couple of years. Wow. What a handsome lizard. Give him or her a little breath there. Oh, okay. Nice. Very handsome San Diego alligator lizard. Alright, well, keep working my way down towards Fortuna Saddle, and I'll see you along the way. Maybe I'll find some more wildlife sightings too. So we're descending still. Got to go over a couple of small humps. Get down to Fortuna Saddle. North Fortuna, straight up ahead. Yeah, we're in the chaparral now. We've got a lot of woolly ceanothus here too. A lot of ceanothus tomentosus along this stretch of trail. Late winter, this place will be colored in blue because of that awesome shrub. There's some broombackers up here too. There's one of the small knolls here. Very small, barely any elevation gain. Just 5-10 feet. So that's the Fortuna Saddle West Trail there. Fortuna Saddle is about over there. Right where those power lines summit before dipping down towards Tierrasanta. Man, this is one incredibly beautiful ridge line. I am so blessed to have this so close to my house. Like I said, I only had to get on the 52 for a few miles to get off on Santo Road. But if I didn't want to get on the freeway, I could have parked in the East Fortuna lot, hiked up from there, or hiked up from Junipero Serra to Oak Canyon as well, and hiked up the East Fortuna Saddle Trail if I didn't want to take any freeways. But I wanted to do another approach from the west. Second time I've approached from the west. So, well, I'll keep you updated along the way. Probably about 5 or so minutes. I'll be probably near the saddle, and that'll be my first major break of the day. All right, just about at Fortuna Saddle right now. Right there is the junction. We're here. We have a power line right away. And that's the northern part of the Fortuna Mountain region, heading up towards North Fortuna. Boy, the power lines are really buzzing. A lot of power. There's the power line. There's the power line right away. Basically, I think this is the East Fortuna Road. Yeah, this goes down to Oak Canyon. So we're basically at Fortuna Saddle right now. To get to the West Fortuna Saddle Trail, this is the regular Fortuna Saddle Trail. It heads east-ish down into Oak Canyon. This right here is not an actual trail here. It's just a part of a power line right away. The Fortuna Saddle West Trail is right there, branching off to our left. And that'll start our descent route in the Suycott Valley. Now what I'm going to do So I'm going to take the North Fortuna Trail just a little over a half mile to North Fortuna Mountain summit. First, we'll sit down for a few minutes and get some water. All right. Sorry for the sun glare. Thus, it is time to begin the next big climb. I have about just under 400 feet of elevation gain to get to the top of North Fortuna Mountain. I'm going to go ahead and start heading up now. Don't want to sit there too long. The longer I sit, the longer I'm exposed to the heat coming up later. So, got to keep on moving. So now it's just time to climb up this trail to North Fortuna Mountain. See you along the way. More updates. Alright, so I've been going for a little while. I'm above South Fortuna Mountain right now. A little ways above it. I think I've less than 200 feet of elevation to get to the summit of North Fortuna. It's taking my time, slowing down a little bit, but still diligently working towards making my third summit of the day. I think that's the false summit, if I remember correctly. It's a false summit, little dip, and then the true summit. And it gets a little confusing at the top because there are a couple of small bumps that vie for the high point. And as for me, I typically visit them all just for completionist's sake. So we'll see how it goes when I'm up in that area. All right, so I believe I'm at the false summit. We're almost at it. I think that's the false summit right there. Very pretty climb up here, but it is exposed to the sun, so just be aware of that. Plan your outings accordingly. You got a good viewpoint here too, from this false peak here. It's a nice viewpoint over here too. Good view down towards Suycott Valley. Pretty nice views down there. The elevation of this one is pretty close. That should be it over there. I think I see the little summit sign. I'm gonna go up here anyways. This one feels like it's about the same elevation. So my summit selfie is going to be at that one, but I figured I'd come up here just because it's here. So that's where the summit placard is. Some good views up here too. 52 down below us. There's a small hill right there, 860-foot summit. Maybe next time I'm in the area, do it from the Perimeter Trail instead. Yeah, some good views up here. Basically, I'm gonna have to go back down that way and head up that way. Very interesting. All right, I'm gonna go towards the marked summit, and that's where I'll get my summit selfie and a little 360 up there as well. So I'm leaving this little bump here to head towards that. All right, keep you updated. It's only going to be a couple minutes to get to the peak from here, so this isn't a big mountain climb, at least anymore until I get to the summit. So I'll see you when I'm there. I'm approaching the summit, passing by some thick leaf yerba santa growing along this part of North Fortuna Mountain. Nice little patch of it here. Last few steps to the placard here on North Fortuna Mountain. All right, here we go. This is it. North Fortuna Mountain, 1,291 feet. And pause to read this if you'd like. Slightly higher ground over there, so I'm gonna go to those rocks. And that's where I'll take my summit selfie. But and that's where I'll type in summit time on my thing here. Yeah, it always gets confusing. Yeah, I'm gonna head over to that. That's where I'll take my summit selfie. So, yep, North Fortuna Mountain. It's been a while since I've been up here. It's the third time I've been up to North Fortuna. First time I did South Fortuna, I didn't do North Fortuna with it. Ever since then, I've done it all together. I'll take it over here. I'm going to definitely walk over to that. There's a small peak bagger bump underneath this to the north. Peak 1243. It only has maybe about 30-40 feet of prominence, but I might head for that too. All right. Now you get to see Woodland Mountain. So we're gonna do a little 360 up here, looking east towards the Cuyamaca and El Cajon Mountain area, northeast towards the Powell Range, and this time you can see Woodland Mountain on the right again, Palomar Mountain. Looking north, you can see the other Black Mountain in Rancho Penasquitos. You can even see over by Mount Whitney and San Marcos from here. Northwest towards Marine Corps Air Station Miramar. Then west-northwest towards University Town Center. La Jolla, Soledad Mountain. California 52 and the Interstate 15 interchange. There's the Kearney Mesa, the Tierrasanta area down to the lower left. Kearney Mesa in the center, Claremont Mesa further up, southwest towards the city skyline of San Diego, to the south towards Coles Mountain and Otay Mountain behind it, southeast towards Lions Peak and Gaskill Peak, Corte Madera and Los Pinos, Viejas Mountain, and back by Cuyamaca and El Cajon. Okay, guess I'll go along this a little bit further and see if I can get down to 1243. Here's the other little high point along the ridge. It's hard to tell which one is highest. This might be it, I don't know. But at least it's a short distance away and a pretty easy walk. This one actually feels like it's the highest. This might actually be the highest point here of North Fortuna Mountain. And it's just a few steps off the trail. So it's not a big deal. All right. So I'm going to head down towards point 1243. This was actually listed on Peak Bagger, believe it or not. Been on that one a couple times as well. So we'll work our way down this trail. Last time I did North Fortuna, I was coming up this way from that part of Suycott Valley down that way. So that's bump 1243 right there. Again, it's listed on Peak Bagger as a Peak Bagger summit. Probably a provisional summit. But it is listed. So I'll go for a little bonus right there. I might go down a different way this time, so I don't have to retrace a lot of my steps and make a nice loop out of this one. Right down above that little small hill right there, I don't think that one's on Peak Bagger. I don't think it is. I think it's just one that I found. It's a It's along the North Fortuna Perimeter Trail. So if you're coming up the North Fortuna Perimeter, the Fortuna Perimeter Trail, you're basically gonna summit that one by default. Like I said, I don't think it's listed. I think I just saw an elevation contour of 860 feet or so, or elevation of about 860 feet at the top of that. Okay, just watch your step. It's very rocky coming down this side of North Fortuna. Like I said, we're going to go up to that very small bump there. All right, I'll see you on the way there. All right, so I'm nearing the top of bump 1243. It's not really a peak. It's a little, so let's not peak baggers, a summit. I'm just about at it right now. Just gonna step over here for a summit time. All right, well, I will call it a summit time. Very easy walk to get here though. You're going downhill 80% of the way, coming from North Fortuna Mountain. So this is it, bump 1243. But we'll call it a summit time because it's here and I'm here, right here, just a few feet off the trail. All right, okay, time for a summit selfie and a quick 360. All right, start by looking north. And I'm going to go counterclockwise. Northwest, west, southwest, south, southeast, east, back to the north. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the North Fortuna Trail back down this side of Suycott Valley. It's kind of like the way I came up the first time. And then just work on some trails to get back. So that was it. Bump 1243. Now it's going to be downhill for a little while, but I will have some uphill on the way back. So let's see how this works. This portion of the Fortuna Ridgeline is extremely scenic. And then we get some north-facing slopes here and there with some lush, very lush chaparral. So be on the lookout for that on this descent. So you see here, we're going down the north side of North Fortuna Mountain right now. This is why the chaparral is getting a little thicker and denser. I remember some actual there's actually some eastwood manzanita growing along this route too. In fact, we're about to come up on some right now. So this is it right here. This is eastwood manzanita, Arctostaphylos glandulosa, subspecies glandulosa, which is occasionally found here at Mission Trails. I think it's the only species of Arctostaphylos here in the park. Should be the only one we have here, but we also have its cousin, interestingly called manzanita, but not a true manzanita, and this is Xylococcus bicolor. This is the Mission manzanita, and they're fairly closely related. Not closely related enough to be in the same genus. Eastwood manzanita is Arctostaphylos, and Mission manzanita is Xylococcus. But they are related. And another place to see eastwood manzanita, if I remember correctly, is the Powell's Peak Trail between Coles and Piles. You'll see some there too, if I remember correctly. I was just up there a couple months ago. 3 months ago. No, 2 months ago. Well, whatever. I was in there in July, so it was 3 months ago. But yeah, we got some Arctostaphylos glandulosa, subspecies glandulosa. This portion of the North Fortuna Trail is stunning. It's chaparral, it's luscious, it's a north-facing slope, so you know it's going to be delicious. All right, time for some pictures of this area as I descend. Yeah, this part of the descent. Yeah, I remember I ascended this when I did this hike back in August of 2023. Another one I did in the summertime after Tropical Storm Hillary. It was all wet here. The soil was damp because it rained a couple days before, like a day and a half before. This part's steep and rocky, so just take it easy, take your time, ascending and especially descending this part of the trail. But it's a very beautiful part of the trail. And you got some rocks on the side to grab if you need your balance to be better. All right. I'm going to keep on going down, keep you posted at my next junction, and we'll see. So we're at another scenic part of this hike. Right here, this rocky outcrop overlooking the 52. Stop over here for a second. It's a little, pretty neat little spot here. Remember this, when I first went up this way, you got those big rocks up there. Very nice. I think it's called the Hawk's Nest Formation. I know there's a little blip on Google Earth mentioning that. Hawk's Nest Formation. I think it's those rocks there, or there might be some more rocks further south along the wall of Fortuna Mountain. All right, we gotta go down some steps here. Okay. Should be at a trail junction in a little bit. It's got a whiff of black sage too. It's a great fragrance. Views. All right. We are at the North Fortuna Trail, North Fortuna Perimeter Trail. That's the Oak Canyon Trail and the Shepherd Ridge Trail. So I'm probably going to be coming back that way. And there's the North Fortuna Perimeter Trail going east towards Oak Canyon. And that, if you were trying to hit up Hill 860, a small knoll right above the 52, you would go the opposite way I'm going now. So this is the North Fortuna Perimeter Trail. So I'm going to be descending towards the northern part of Suycott Valley before the big ramp that leads up towards the 52. So that's where I'm heading now. So this is pretty familiar territory for me because I've been in this area the last time I did North and South Fortuna Mountain. I was going up this way, and then I went down West Fortuna Saddle Trail to, was a Suycott cutoff or something like that. Ended up finally getting to the Rim Trail and the Corte Playa Catalina Trail, because Corte Playa Catalina was my trailhead. This time, that's not it. So let's see. Let's see here. Here's North Fortuna Perimeter Trail. Let's see what the signs say on here. Shepherd Pond, 0.6 miles. 1.6 to Portobelo. Which way do I want to go? Either one of these will get me, either one of these will allow me to connect my way back. Rim Trail, though, I've gone that way. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to take the North Fortuna Perimeter Trail heading west. Never done that before, so this should be interesting. Last time, I believe I came up from that way, from Corte Playa Catalina. So this will probably add some mileage to my hike, but it'll also make for different scenery. So if you have seen that video of me climbing up from Corte Playa Catalina, this won't be just a mere repeat of footage. Like I said, I try to do different routes when I do these hikes. So let's see. Let's take this North Fortuna Perimeter Trail. But it will pass me by Shepherd Pond, which I have done before. So I might have come up this way. This might be the way I did come up the first time. I think it might be. I'm right next to the 52. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to work my way around this and I'll keep you posted. Here we are. Right next to the 52, California 52. We're right near the top of the pass. Top of the pass is just a little further up to the east, I believe. So we're near the called Mission Trail Summit. If you've ever driven California 52 towards Santee, or from Santee towards La Jolla from the east, you'll see a little green sign that says Mission Trail Summit. So I think this might be the way I did come up the first time. I think I came up this way. Oh well. I might hike, depending on my inclination, I might hike some surface streets to get back. If weather starts getting really hot and I'm trying not to do a lot of extra elevation gain out in the middle of the blazing sun, I might go for that option. But through and through, this will be another one of my loop hikes. Yeah, looks like the pass is just a little bit up to our right. That's going down towards Tierrasanta, Santo Road. It's not that far down. All right, walking along the 52, and I'll see you down the way for more updates. Very lovely stretch of trail here. Very peaceful stretch here. Yes, you can hear the sounds of the 52, but just think about these beautiful laurel sumacs and lemonade berries, black sages lining this trail. And that's what matters. Here's a junction. Let's see. That's the Shepherd Ridge Loop. This is Shepherd Pond. Let's see what this sign says here. All right, so I'm gonna go around this way, like I did last time. Shepherd Pond's pretty close. You see the trees down there. So we'll go by that again. Till then, see you along the way. So we're nearing Shepherd Pond in this little canyon here. Some white sage popping up. Yes, indeed. And some black sage popping up. Yeah, I remember this from last time. Deep and nice little canyon here with a pretty luscious toyon right here. Oh, its pomes are ripening too. Nice little shady spot right here under this big toyon. There's a lot of the laurel sumacs here are struggling, not looking so healthy. I wonder what's going on with that. A lot of laurel sumacs. I remember first time I was here, they were all luscious. I wonder if there's something attacking laurel sumac here. Toyons are looking fine. Lemonade berries are fine. So laurel sumacs look like they're struggling. Some of them, not all of them. This one here looks okay, for the most part okay. There's some dead spots on that one too. Big white sage right there. So we're just about by the pond. Nice little oasis for the wildlife here. There's some pretty tall goodies black willows up here. A little bit of leaf change. But yeah, see where all that meal fat growth is. So that large shrub is down there. That's where Shepherd's Pond is. I wonder if there's any water down there. Can't tell from here. Don't see any, but it's a nice little shady spot right here to kick back for a little while. Underneath these pretty tall willows. It's all mule fat here though. It'd be nice if there were a log to sit on over there. All right. I'm eventually gonna find a place to cool out for a few minutes. Oh, that's the Shepherd Pond area. Yeah, there's water in it. Probably not much, but I see a little bit down there. All right. Yeah, there's water in it. Not Not a lot, it's more like a puddle, but at least there's some water in there. That's Shepherd Pond. A lot of bird activity. San Diego bulrush, that giant plant growing along the shore. Spinoplectus californicus. All right, time to keep on moving. All right, so I'm past Shepherd's Pond now. Out here, this very quiet, remote portion here. There's a junction coming up. I remember I came up from that direction the first time. We'll see what going along this way will yield. Like I said, there's a chance I might bail out at Portobelo Drive and navigate my way back to the surface streets. Might do that today, maybe. We'll see. See at that junction. So I'm at this junction. That's where from whence I came. Portobelo is 0.8 miles. San Diego River Crossing Trail is 0.6. So that might be a possibility. So I'm gonna head up this way. All right, this is the way I came the first time when I went up to the Fortuna originally. This time I'm gonna head this way. I've never been along this portion here of the Fortuna Perimeter Trail, so this should be interesting. This will be a little bit different for me. Guess what we're going to be doing is heading down that ravine. I guess that should be interesting. And I still got the 52 just above us. Yeah, despite the freeway being nearby, it has more of a remote feeling, at least for people on foot or on bicycle. This is different. It's a different vibe out here. A little more open, more like a non-native grass prairie, spotted with lemonade, berry, laurel, sumac, and broombaccharis, the occasional isocoma, golden bush popping up. But it looks like we're going to be heading for that canyon. We're descending into a canyon right now. So I have a feeling there's going to be some pretty cool footage coming up. Or at least what I think is cool footage. Never been along this portion here, so I think I'm going to head to either San Diego River Crossing Trail or Portobelo. One of those two. See how that works out. Alright, I'll keep you posted along the way. Looks like we got a cool little bridge over here. This must be all drainage culvert underneath us here. I'm descending the canyon right now, heading down into it. So shortly, vegetation might get lusher. Kind of be neat. Some of these taller laurel sumacs give me some shade. Now we'll see if that pans out. Yeah, must be a little drainage culvert that feeds Shepherd Pond occasionally. Some mule fat and stuff growing down there. Oh, so yeah, it's gonna get shady here. Oh, I'm loving this. This laurel sumacs and mule fats here to provide us some, probably temporary, but some very much appreciated shade as it is warming up. It's probably well into the 70s by now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's already 80 degrees by the time I finish up, or maybe even warmer. Oh, Oh, we're heading underneath these beautiful mule fats. Cool. Very nice. That was a nice little shady oasis. Wow, all right. I think my ending point's going to be at Portobelo. Climb over this. Oh boy. All right, I'll see you on the next clip. All right, so out of that little lush part, we got some more lemonade berry growing here on the side, but we also have its closely related cousin, sugar bush, as well. I'm not sure if it naturally grows here at Mission Trails, but I think some of these have been roadside plantings. So occasionally you'll see one or two along the 52 on this side of the road. I've seen a couple. So yeah, I guess they plant sugar bush here too. I don't know if it naturally occurs here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did at some spot. But yeah, Rusovada. That's very scenic out here. Don't mind that fence. Yeah, they do plant some sugar bush. Most of it's the native. Most of it's our lemonade berry. But yeah, we do have some sugar bush popping up here and there. Maybe it is naturally growing. I don't know. But I assume that was probably planted for erosion. Yeah. So we're on the outside of the bowl. That's over towards the bowl that leads into Suycott Valley, but we're on the other side of that bowl. Very different here. Heading towards that way. Now, like I said, I have the San Diego River Crossing Trail probably coming up soon, and then I'll have the option to either go up that and back to my car that way, or more likely, I'm going to hike along Portobelo and grab some surface streets and do that, so I can maybe be in the shade of some of the roadside trees. So we'll see. More than likely, I'm going to be getting out of Portobelo. Hopefully find a place there to sit. Tierrasanta seems to have a lot of roadside and trailside benches. That's always good. Here's another little culvert here. It's quite beautiful out here too. This is the more and more remote part of the park. It's not remote in the sense of, you know, there's a freeway next to us, but you know, this is a remote part of the park. That's pretty remote from where I parked. So there we go. I'll keep on trucking along this. Keep you updated on whatever else I encounter. All right, so we're joining a kiosk here. I think we can do the San Diego River Crossing Trail. Yeah, you see it heading up that way, but I think I'm gonna hit the surface streets instead. Trails kiosk. I think it's the San Diego River Crossing Trail just over there. you. Oh, wait a minute, I think I see the sign coming up ahead. Those trees look more inviting than shadeless climb up ahead. To be honest with you. Okay. San Diego River Crossing Trail. Like this over here. Alright, so here I am. Found a little concrete platform on which to sit and relax for a few minutes. First time I've sat down since Fortuna Saddle. That leads up towards the San Diego River crossing, which I'm not going to take. It actually looks like it gains a lot of unnecessary elevation. And if I get on the surface streets, the elevation gain will be more gradual, maybe even less. So, yeah, that's peak 1243 right there. A little bump right there. That's bump 1243. Now, what I'll do is hike along this greenbelt, get back to Portobelo Drive. I'm winding down, I'll tell you. Very tired. Oh yeah, there's some shady trees here. It's gonna be very pleasant. Look at these lemonade berries trimmed like trees. That is insanely beautiful. It's trimmed as a single trunk tree. That's so beautiful. So I'm going to hike along this mostly shady corridor to Portobelo, and then I'll have to make some navigational decisions to get back to Calle de Vida. So I'll actually probably make this hike longer, but maybe more gradual on the way back. These lemon scented gums here, Corymbia citriodora. Alright, see you on the next clip. This is a pretty corridor here. Big lemon scented gums. Pretty condos here. So I'm just following this green belt. Portobelo. Yeah, it's definitely getting warm out here. I'm glad I'm not doing a major mountain climb. Did enough of that earlier. But I am getting tired. Alright, I'll keep you posted on more of the scenery here. Here's a pretty handsome single trunk toyon. Trim this one with a single trunk. Ramelies are Budifolia. Of course, its habit is multi-stem, so it sends up a lot of shoots. They get trimmed back to a single trunk tree. What a handsome toyon. Very handsome. Got an Italian stone pine coming up ahead. Ooh, oh, I just caught a whiff of it too. Ooh, that's fragrant. Yeah, it's an Italian stone pine. Should be at Portobelo pretty soon. I'm really taking my time on this one here. Ooh, I think we got some fall color up ahead too. I'll show you when I'm there. Yeah, that tree that kind of has a russet red color, crepe myrtle, Lygostremia indica, changing fall colors right now, late October. The tree almost at its peak right now. Okay, I think I'm just about to join Portobelo. I'll have to make some navigational decisions along the way. We'll see how that turns out. Just gotta go down this one steep embankment here. Might find another place to sit for a few minutes. Definitely tired. So we'll see. Just about at Portobelo. I gotta see what my next move is gonna be. All these lemon scented gum saplings. So let's see. I'm gonna try heading along this way to see where this leads. Should be Portobelo Drive here. See what happens when I go this way. Alright, so I'm across the street. Come from that way. Hiking on the shadier side here. I am getting very warm and tired. Smells nice over here, that California sycamore behind me. Here's an interesting find. Here's a Catalina cherry right here. Prunus salicifolia subspecies lyonii. Right here on the side of the road. It's the island subspecies of hollyleaf cherry, which has much larger leaves, as you can see there. What else will I find? Let's see. This is where Portobelo, coming from this way, turns into Via Vallarta. This is Playa Cancun. Oh boy. Alright, let's see what happens next. Approaching Antigua Boulevard. See if we can find another place to sit down. First, Western sycamores, or American sycamores. Platanus occidentalis. Pretty neat. Alright. See if I can find a place to sit for a few minutes. Some roadside botany. Ficus pumila. Creeping fig. Lophostamen confertus. Brisbane box. Tecomaria capensis. Cape honeysuckle, and a bevy of Canary Island pines right across the street. So I'm on Via Vallarta, just past the intersection with Antigua. Heading down Via Vallarta right now. Gonna look for a connector road to get me to where I'm parked. Hopefully I don't have too much more uphill. I am tired. And of course, Ficus benjamina, weeping fig. I'm on the shady side. Walking up on the other side, it was getting really sunny and hot. Alright. Oh, of course, heavenly bamboo. Not a true bamboo. It's in the Berberaceae. This is an Andina domestica. It's not a bamboo. It's not in the grass family. It's actually a woody shrub related to our native barberries in the genus Berberis. Alright. Cross off, I need to apply a Cancun. Changing leaves on the sweet gum. Liquid ambar stericiflua. Starting to change color. Very neat. Sure, what's over there. Another sweet gum tree right here. We're starting to get some fall color. Pretty nice. With a little baby toy on. There we go. Here's some fall color right here. Pretty nice. Trying to see where this is heading. Not exactly sure. I'll find out soon enough. Now we're under some Canary Island pines with some huge needles. Long needles. Camino Playa Norte. This is North Shepherd Canyon here. I don't know. Upper Shepherd Canyon North, maybe? I don't have the energy to explore it right now. I'm just trying to get back to my car. I think I'm getting close to Claremont Mesa Boulevard, which is good. Tall buckwheats. Yeah, I think this is one of the Shepherd Canyons right here. Like I said, I'm not going to be exploring it today. I think this is East Shepherd Canyon, I believe. Over here. Nice lemonade berry right here too. Wow, it's been around a while. I'll probably explore one of these another time. Not today. I don't have the energy today. Actually, I think East Shepherd Canyon's more that way. We're pretty close to it. I think that's East Shepherd Canyon over there. Hill. Yeah, that should be East Shepherd Canyon right there. Yep, East Shepherd Canyon right there. So I should be getting close to Claremont Mesa Boulevard. Some kind of bald cypresses. I wonder if these are, I wonder what species these are. Look like Taxodium disticum, but I'm not sure. Japanese black pine, Pinus thunbergii, right here. Well, just about at Claremont Mesa Boulevard. So what I'm going to do is turn left, head east on Claremont Mesa Boulevard, and then I'm going to turn right and head south on Rueda. And then I'm going to get to Calle de Vida towards my trailhead. So there's Claremont Mesa at Villa Vallarta right now. Oh, and there's a gorgeous sweet gum tree, full in fall color right now. Look at that. Deep red color. Liquid ambar steraciflua. Wow. And their fall color lasts a very long time. Alright. Let's see. Am I going to go on to the other side of the street? I'm going to have to eventually to turn into Rueda. Let's see. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut over here. Yeah, stay on the shady side. Okay. Just head that way until I find Rueda. Alright. Ooh, a Chinese elm, Ulmus parvifolia. It's one of the elms that actually seed in autumn. Those are the seeds on Ulmus parvifolia right there. It's one of the elms that actually seeds in fall. Flowers in fall too. Alright. See you along the way on Claremont Mesa Boulevard. Yeah, pretty decent sized Aleppo pines on the other side of the street. Mixed in with some more moderate sized sugar gum Eucalyptus cladocalyx. Oh, Dodonea viscosa, hop seed. Got a few of them right around here. These are the seeds right here. I think they're native in subtropical America. I think as far close as Arizona, I believe. Some Italian cypresses providing some very solid shade. Cupressus sempervirens stricta, columnar Italian cypress. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's definitely warm out here. It's probably in the upper 70s by now. Probably be up in the mid to upper 80s here today. Where I live, it's supposed to be in the low 90s. I would assume at least 86, 87 here, probably. So the street's up and next. My turnoff will be the next one, I believe. Yeah, this is Santa. Next one uphill a little bit, I believe. All right, keep on merging along, well, trudging along. I'll see you on my next clip. Look at these toyon palms already ripening. Just about ripe completely. Nice little native scape there. Okay, here's Rueda. So I'm going to go ahead and turn right to get on here. There we go. Okay. And I'll see Calle de Vida pretty soon. Time for for a short walk along this now. A little miniature canyon here. Pretty sure it's off limits. Pretty neat to look at, nonetheless. Some San Diego marsh elder right here. Eva haziana. There's Palabra. It's the next little intersection. But just beyond it is Calle de Vida. Construction equipment down in that little gulch. Interesting. That's a set of nature trail. For me, across here, Calle de Vida is the next intersection over. There's just minutes before I get back. So I'm going to get to Calle de Vida and turn left and follow it around. And that should get me where I'm trying to go. So there's a set of nature trail. Done that one before too. Alright, here's my last junction. The elevation getting back up here is a lot more gradual doing this. But a much longer walk. Alright, well, I'll turn here and head around the bend. So I got a little climbing to do here. My body's so tired of going uphill, but gotta do what I gotta do. Alright, here I am, turning on a Calle de Vida. See you around the bend. Finish this up. That was the other entrance. I'm just a little further down. That takes you to Alanis Canyon. We're at the head of Alanis Canyon here. My chemise. But yeah, I'm definitely wiped out. Got a little more walking to do. Should be there in a few minutes. Some welcome shade under this Australian bushy yate, Eucalyptus conferruminata. A little bit of shade, but it's starting to get up into the 80s right now. I think low 80s right now. It's getting hot, or at least very warm. Just gotta follow this along here until the next big curve, which is where I'll be parked. I guess I gotta go a little bit more down, just up to about over there where it curves around. I'm just about back. You can see my car behind the red one. Whew. Kind of glad to be getting back. I am hot. Well, this is basically going to do it for this hike. It's about to complete the loop. This is where I started, right here by the gate. So, I was all the way over there at North Fortuna. So, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.